Okay, so hopefully this is working. Maybe. Let me check the dashboard on Twitch to figure it out. Seems like it. Hopefully the audio is working. Can't really have no idea. So, oh. Yep, it's working. Okay, nice. So let's get to work. As this is the first time I'm trying this out, I will basically just go through publishing an episode of ASP.NET Core from Zero to Overkill. I have already the post ready and the video ready, so I'll just go through the finishing touches part and actually publishing things. In the next times I stream, hopefully that I do, I'll just be preparing code for recording the next episode. So let's get started with this. So, like I said, I already prepared the post. I write the posts in Markdown because I then host everything. Basically, the blog is on GitHub. The blog is over here. It's a Jekyll blog. So it's a static website. So when I publish the blog to GitHub, it starts a process on Netlify, which I'm using to host it. Netlify. I'm using Netlify to host it, which is free for these kinds of things. So I write the post in Markdown, put it in here. When I push the code, or in this case the post, it starts a process on Netlify, which then eventually publishes it to the interwebs. So let's see. So normally what I do, to not be tied to a computer and stuff like that, I just put the markdown of the file the post I'm writing into Dropbox. I write stuff so I can jump between computers and keep writing. Code is always on GitHub, and then just for me to avoid being always committing and finishing unfinished posts, I use Dropbox. So write everything in there, and then gotta put it in the actual repo. So this is episode 34. The previous one I was talking about all those hexagonal architectures and ports and adapters and onions and stuff, as I refactored the internal architecture of the group management API. So in this next post, I'm talking about Mediator, using it to separate things up instead of having those giant services. So written all about it here. So now let's actually put this in the blog. So let me go here. So the blog, like I mentioned, is a repo. So I'll create a new branch for the new post. Okay, now I'm opening the blog here. I do everything in code. Maybe one of these days I should try some things. Maybe there are plugins for code to help with stuff like Grammarly and stuff like that. Try to improve how I write, but okay. So, like I mentioned, the blog is in using this Jekyll thing, which is a Ruby based static website generator, blog aware. So we need Ruby, so I have Ruby installed in WSL, so I'm going to WSL, and then because I have everything installed, I bundle exec Jekyll serve, I think, incremental, and it will basically compile the blog, which means it will generate from the markdown files. It will create the actual blog with HTML and all of that, CSS. This works faster in Linux. Normally here in Windows, even on WSL, it takes like 30 seconds to generate, even after the first time when I change just one file, it takes 20 something seconds. In Linux it tends to take like 10 or 13 seconds. I think it's because of file system stuff. Hopefully with WSL2 it improves. So we can go to localhost, and the blog is in there. Okay, so here's the blog, hideous as you would expect from a backend guy. So now let's put the blog in there, the post. So let's start with going to over here. So over here in posts, there are all the posts. And I'm going to create a new one, so I'll just copy the previous one. So today is 2020. So what was the name? Segregating use cases with change the tags. Okay, now I can copy what I've done here. So I always try to follow the same structure. I have an intro, or better yet, I start with a quick, like a phrase, quick intro. Put the link to the video, the playlist. Then I start with an intro and then start with the content. Markdown, code. Okay, and then I end with an outro and links, and the links to the code, so people can check it out. Okay, so I save. I need to change this still. So 6. If I don't put the correct time, when it compiles, it doesn't show up, because if the post is in the future, it won't compile the post. So if we go to the console, it should be generating things. Every time we do a change, it generates things. We just close this one, no longer needed. So 34, or it was needed. I needed the title. And then I just grab this part to put here in the summary, so it appears on the metadata for Twitter and stuff like that. Assets, I normally do a quick image. I already did it using GIMP. So we're here in assets. I'll create a new year. Then I put the month and the day, because I like to complicate, apparently. This is new. Okay, now let me just go to the file system, grab an image. Change. Okay. Let's see. Where's the console? It's generating. It's done, so we can go to the blog now. And there is the new post. Okay, so it appears like this because I'm not logged into YouTube on this browser, and the video is private right now. So we now can see everything correctly. Normally I would do a second pass. I would read this again just to be sure that there isn't anything that I can detect that is terribly wrong. I already did that to avoid doing that live, because it's even more boring than this. So yap, 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 a lot of yap, smileys, because I like to put smileys. Okay, then a lot of code. Okay, let me put some enters in here so it's easier to read. This won't improve a lot, but at least a bit. This will be terrible. I'll just simplify this in the code. It needs all of this, but for a demo, it's enough. Okay. This could be better optimized, like when I save, you would cancel and then start generating again, but okay, it's not terrible. And I don't waste too much time on this because I write once and then just fixing the bugs I do here. So, hello, Nuno. Okay, seems a little bit better. Not this part. Some enters. These 30 seconds are quite annoying. I would do the stream from Ubuntu, but me and the scaling on Linux don't go well. How about now? Yeah. It's probably easier to read on the blog like this. Just okay. Okay, so the post is ready. Just missing this, but we can check out a joke. A joke is me doing this. And another joke is this taking 30 seconds to regenerate every time we do a change. Okay, just to be sure, in here we don't see that the image that I put here isn't shown because it's one of those things that appears in the metadata of the post. So if I go to the elements, head, That thing is weird. But I'll go. Okay, so the image is here. So if we go here, you can check out my GIMP skills. So here's another joke for you, Nuno. Me drawing pictures in GIMP just to make the video thumbnail better. This is weird. I don't remember seeing this on the blog. The description being all of this. Let me check. Okay, yeah. Description is just this part. So something is going wrong. Maybe I did something wrong over here. I try to avoid using Paint just because trying to use vector graphics when I can. So it's easier to scale when I do some things. Even though in this case I'm just scaling this to 4K and doing it because sometimes these logos, these tech logos aren't great. Even this mediator logo is, I zoomed in, so it might have some extra pixels, but let me check. I'm not understanding why the description is all of this. Because looking at this, it is not. Okay. I'm going to ignore this and hope it's not a problem when I push. One good thing is that we can validate that things are good. So let me check. Let me stop this. Exit WSL. Let's do this. Okay, open this here. So if we go to GitHub now, let me just grab this in another browser. We can open a pull request. I'll create, and this automatically is starting things on Netlify. So if we go here, so this is basically compiling the site. and then it will be available because it's in a pull request instead of going immediately to the public part of the site. It creates a new URL where you can see things working before actually publishing it. So it's basically like a preview. So site is live, you can preview. It's already here, but if we go to the actual site, it's not there yet. So the description here is good. So there's probably something stupid going on with the dev setup that's failing, but it's working on when deployed, which is what matters. Let me just check this. So you see it created some weird URL for us to be able to validate things. The image is also here. So it's good. So even though this is strange, I will eventually debug this. Although wasting time on the blog infrastructure is not the thing I mostly I have for the YouTube video, but because I'm not yet I'm not logged in this browser, it doesn't show. If I go to another browser, let me see. In fact, I'll go directly to another place. This is the YouTube studio. You can see I have no subscribers. Okay, 1000 is not that bad. And you see the video is private. For instance, if I change it to unlisted, okay, this won't work because I stopped. Where did I put that part? Oh, it's private. Didn't even know that part was private. Go here to Netlify, the blog, and deploy preview is here. Okay, now it has a thumbnail because I put it unlisted instead of private. Yes. So the video is here. You can see this, the description, name, thumbnail. I uploaded it instead of. Okay, is that on the meta tags of the page? What do you mean? The image I uploaded, or better yet, the image we saw here is for the meta tags for the post. So when I publish this to Twitter, it will appear the nice little image, or to LinkedIn or whatever. The thumbnail, the video has a different one that I put on YouTube, and then not for kids because apparently it's a new thing, and a bunch of tags of stuff. Okay, so before publishing the thing, I can publish the video. I'll put it in .NET and ASP.NET Core series playlists. Cards, yes, I want end screen. So this is just to put some links on the video. Don't know if people click it, but so I'll go to some other video like this one. So when the video ends, it appears here a link to subscribe and then a link to the playlist. Probably people don't click a lot, but so save, go back, save, and now I should be getting a notification saying that things were published. Me and anyone who is registered, subscribed on YouTube. So I can minimize this and we can go to GitHub. As we validated that this apparently is good. YouTube is taking a while to notify. Let me just open the YouTube app. Okay, it's here, but didn't notify. Okay, so we validated that the post is good. So we can deploy, and deploy is just merging to master. If I go to Netlify, it's building. When it's done here, it will be published on the blog. So the first time I created the blog, I used WordPress and got a VM. Oh, now YouTube is notifying me. So the first time I did the blog, I used the WordPress. I got a VM like $5 a month, and then create Docker containers to WordPress and MySQL and all of that. But then discovered this, and this is much easier. And for developers, putting things in source control and just that, it's nice. Okay, so it's published. So if we go to the blog now, there it is. So not very hard. So if you want to read, you can go and read or watch the video. Or not. Okay. So this is basically the process. If anyone has some doubts on how to do this kind of stuff, I use Netlify because it works well. I think when I decided to use Netlify, I was going to use GitHub Pages, and then the problem, I think it was hard or not possible to create to have a custom domain with HTTPS, and I was going through the interwebs and it said that Netlify supported that without problems, so I tested it and it worked. So that's why I'm using Netlify. And also lately I also used another feature, which is in the blog. If we go to the blog, I created a contact page, And using Netlify, I didn't really have to implement anything. I just needed to create the page here and put some specific Netlify tags, and when it detects it, it takes care of it. Let me just check if it's visible here. I don't even remember what I needed to do. Let me check. We should be able to see it here. Yep, just put this data Netlify here, and we can use the contact form. And it just goes, we go here to forms, contact, and it goes here. And all the time I have spam submissions, which I will not show because it's all the same thing that you probably expect. So it's nice. Netlify has more things like serverless functions and stuff like that. Never use them here, but it's interesting. It's more feature rich than GitHub Pages, although I don't really make use of all those features, just the basics and this one for the forms. Okay, so the post is published. I don't think I have a lot more to say. I think it's something easy to start with this streaming stuff. So next week I'll try to stream again, but this time getting into code and preparing the next episodes of the series. Episode 35 is already prepared. I think I'm just missing recording it afterwards. So in the next, if I stream next week, it will be just doing code for the next part, which will be, let me check. .36, making things more object-oriented. Yeah, and we can move this one. Okay, I cannot move in it. Let me check. Okay, this is done. Next one is this, and next week hopefully I'll grab this one. Okay, that's all. Let me just clean up Git. We'll check out. Okay, cleaning things up. Otherwise it would start having a lot of branches over here lost. Okay, so hope this was mildly interesting for a first time. Hopefully it wasn't that bad, and hope to see whoever came to the stream this time next time. See yous.